Scott Allen had an interview with Dominique Wilkins, who was in town as a spokesperson for diabetes awareness. We had a chance to sit down with Dominique and ask about his thoughts about Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. Let's watch.
The hot topic, around NBA Finals time with LeBron James going for his third consecutive NBA title is the whole LeBron-MJ debate. You got to play against MJ, who won 6 titles in his prime. You've gotten to watch LeBron do his thing. Where do you come down on that debate? How do you compare the two?
Well, you know what? I hate comparisons. That era that we played in with Michael, it was just a different era. It was a brutal era as far as physicality. And the thing I tell people when it comes to Michael Jordan, I say, how many people you know in any sport that can win 3 championships, retire, play another sport, come back and win 3 more championships? Never has been done. I mean, he's the best to ever do it. I mean, LeBron James is a super player and a great player and a Hall of Fame player. But the eras are just different. And that's the thing you got to look at. The eras are just different. But Mike stands alone by himself above everybody else. It is what it is. And a lot of times people don't like to, speak the truth about it. But the truth is that he's the best to play the game.
All right, I don't think we have any dissenters from that opinion on this show that would argue that Michael Jordan's not the best that ever played. But I want to switch it to a more contemporary debate. And wonder, LeVar, I'll ask you, what would be the more impressive feat? Tim Duncan winning 5 NBA titles over the course of his career, or LeBron James winning 3 in a row if the Heat are to win this year? Which one's more impressive in your mind?
How many championships would LeBron have if he won this 3rd in a row?
3.
Correct. So it's simple arithmetic to me. Tim Duncan winning 5 NBA titles and being the catalyst of that team to win is certainly more impressive. You're judged by how many you win. And although you can sit there and you can say, well, LeBron hasn't played as long as Tim Duncan, or he has a lot more to go, a lot more years left in his tank to go get those 5. Maybe he gets 5 in a row, who knows? But as of today, as of right now, if I'm judging it, I'm going with Tim Duncan winning 5. I mean, that's...
To press you on that, would you say Russell then would be the better, greater player overall than Jordan?
Well, again, and that's always, I didn't say better player. I said what's more impressive.
I couldn't resist.
If you ask me what's more impressive, Russell's titles is more impressive than Jordan's titles. But if you ask me who's the better player of all time, I say it's apples and oranges. It's not respectful to say a center versus a forward or a shooting guard.
Gotcha.
But Mike is the greatest to ever do it, though.
Dan, LeBron or Duncan, which more impressive?
We actually had an argument in the sports department about this, and the reason we're doing this segment, I think, is because one of our editors thought that it was a ridiculous question for the same reason you do. The reason I would say LeBron is because I think 3 in a row just kind of would signify how clearly better than anyone at the present time he is, really. And I think that, it goes to what happened in Game 2. After Game 1, after all the criticism, a lot of people would say this, I didn't have any doubt that he was going to come out and dominate that game. And I feel like when he's dominating the way he is, his team is just going to win. His team is going to win because he's just better than everyone else on the court. I felt that for 3 years now. And I think that to have that kind of dominance over everyone at one time for such a long stretch, that to me is more impressive. I think the 3 in a row would be more impressive.
All right, break the tie, Keith. 3 in a row from LeBron or 5 total from Duncan? More impressive in your mind?
Well, there's not a whole lot separating these two guys if you want to take it a little bit past simple arithmetic. Duncan's 5 titles, right? If he wins the 5th this year, this is his 17th season. LeBron, this is his 11th season. And 3 would be, the average is almost the same. It's right around 3.5. 1 title for every 3.5 seasons.
That's more complicated arithmetic.
LeBron didn't have quite as much help for the first 7 seasons of his career. They went to the finals once, but every championship, these guys had a lot of help too. Whether it's Duncan playing with David Robinson, or Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, LeBron now playing with Wade and Bosh. I'm going to go with LeBron. The 3 in a row, the short era of sustained dominance. We've watched enough basketball to know how hard it is for a team to win 1, to repeat, to do it 3 times in a row, and really also if you're counting LeBron
So
here, it's
then
going
it
to be
should
4
be-
trips to the finals in a
So
row.
then it should be much more difficult to win 5 of them, whether in a row or not. And by
But
the
they,
way,
but they, but
it
they
was
don't
so
get, but they never get
I'm on
knocked
your
out.
side on
it was
They never
so-
get knocked out against Phoenix in the first
it's
round.
hard-
It
Is
was
it-
so casually put that LeBron didn't have help in his first few years. LeBron was in a different uniform in a different city, and that has to be taken into consideration. You know, Tim Duncan didn't go somewhere and team up. Hey, you want to come play with me? You guys want
Right.
to come play
It
with me?
wasn't like the Shaq
Let's go
going to
meet
LA.
here and try to win a whole bunch of championships in the era of just free agency. They created a super team. They created a super team and started
But
winning.
every-
that has to be held against them.
I root against LeBron, and late in these games, I just feel completely certain that he's going to ruin my hopes. And I don't think I've ever felt exactly the same way with Duncan, where you just were positive that he was going to do
I'm
it.
a LeBron fan.
Different positions, too,
But
is
the
a little
bottom,
bit
but the bottom
down
line
the
is he
stretches.
did have to go somewhere else. And these names that we continue to throw out there in comparison to LeBron, I'm sorry, it has to go in the record. It has to be in the record book that he left and met up with Dwayne Wade and had Chris Bosh come in and be a part of it. Michael Jordan didn't do that.
So, but Michael Jordan had help. He always
Tim
had
Duncan
Horace
didn't do
Grant
that.
or Rodman
Yeah,
and
Okay.
Pippen.
Hall of
So
Famers.
why couldn't they do that in Cleveland?
All right.
Why couldn't they do that in
I mean,
Cleveland?
then
You're LeBron James. If you're a Michael
They're
Jordan,
still winning.
Michael
though.
didn't have to leave.
You could argue that with all that pressure that they brought on themselves, the fact that they're still winning is
Isaiah
is
didn't
impressive
leave.
in itself.